Eh bien, bonjour à toutes et à tous. Bonjour Christine.
Bonjour.
Ce sont les derniers mots que vous allez entendre en français aujourd'hui, puisque nous allons parler principalement en anglais. Donc bienvenue aux habitués, bienvenue à tous ceux qui nous suivent sur la chaîne YouTube Adobe France. Aujourd'hui, j'ai la chance de recevoir Kristine Arth, qui est graphic designer, qui travaille sur de la typographie, de l'identité en permanence et qui va nous faire des couvertures de livres, donc des book covers. Pour tous les gens qui ont l'habitude de nous suivre sur la chaîne YouTube Adobe France, aujourd'hui et tout le mois à venir font exception puisqu'on va recevoir des designers internationaux qui du coup s'expriment plutôt en anglais. Et je ne vais pas tenter de vous faire des traductions tout le long de la session parce que ce serait beaucoup trop complexe. Donc j'espère que tout le monde arrivera à apprendre, à attraper tout ce qui vous intéresse et que pour les autres, vous pourrez juste regarder l'écran. Et maintenant, nous allons passer en anglais. So I'm gonna switch to English. So you feel
Oh, now I know what you said. I heard words I knew in there. I was like, oh, aujourd'hui.
Yeah,
Bonjour.
Bonjour, that's us.
France.
So, for everyone, I want to introduce you a little bit. I first met you last year when you were
to Paris.
Oh
no, Eric
Paris.
Spiekerman was here. That's right. That's when I met you.
Yeah. I had you on stage, and it was not my stage this time. It was for Michael Chase.
Yes.
We were reving Eric Spiekerman.
Yes.
So it's the biggest name in typography.
Totally.
Nowadays.
It was wonderful.
And we had the chance to see him on the Behance live event, and so you were hosting.
Yeah. It was very fun.
Yeah.
It was a great time, and Michael was there, and Caterina Bianchini. Yeah, she's wonderful.
So
yeah, she was nervous.
She was supposed to design
for him with his work.
For every
I know.
Man with his work.
He's like, it'll be fine, and she was like, it is fine. It was brilliant. She did a wonderful job.
Yeah. So for the ones, for the usual ones, hello TMPX, hello Celeste, hello Jérôme,
hello Tim Mobiste, my favorite.
And Mr. Evil Cerise.
Yes.
Hello.
Evil Cerise. I call him Tim Mobiste back home. That's right, back home.
Yeah. And yes, Michael is not there here. He's in the United States of America.
Yeah. Amazing.
Good.
Well, I'm excited to be here. This is really fun. I'm here for the summer, and I'll be at Le Tank in Paris for some of their talks over the next couple weeks.
That's nice.
And this is great. Thank you for having me back.
No, that was a great opportunity. I didn't want to miss that. Usually I'm only getting French guests.
Yeah, that's right. I'll try my best. I'll be like, en français.
We're gonna try to see what we can do. I wanted to showcase some of your work so that people understand who you are.
Wonderful.
And then we're gonna move on to what you're gonna do with us today.
Perfect. Sounds good. Parfait.
I'm gonna ask the French Paco to switch screens. And usually French
Paco, he's back there. French Paco, switch screens. There we go.
That's how I do it.
Voila.
So for the one who were not yet subscribers to the Adobe France YouTube channel, you know that there are 40,000 of you today, so I'm very happy about that.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you for following. Thank you for keeping on commenting.
Yeah, keep commenting. We want to hear what you have to say. And if it's in English, I'll definitely be able to see it and respond. If it's in French, I will just say hello.
Yeah.
Hello, Meru. Hello, Jérôme, Debril, Evil Cherise, Hyperlit.
And goodbye for TMPX who says like, oh no, I'm not speaking English, so goodbye.
Goodbye to MacPix.
See you later. So once you've subscribed, you can always click on give me a reminder and never miss the beginning of the sessions. And what's going to be interesting with Kristine, where do I start? With Lobster Phone or with Kristine Arth Instagram?
Maybe Kristine Arth. Yeah, we could start there. Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's me as a person.
That's your life.
Yes, that's my life.
And there's KristineArth.com.
Yes.
That's going to be better.
That's right. There's the .com, and then I've got lobsterphone.com. I've got all the .coms.
Where do you come from?
I'm from the Midwest in the United States. And then I lived in Chicago for 10 years, and I worked in advertising and graphic design, and then moved to San Francisco about 10 years ago, and have been working in branding, solely in branding and identity since then. mainly focusing on product design and entrepreneurs that are doing startups. So anyone that is thinking that they have a great idea, or they're starting up a new company or pivoting their company, that's usually the type of client that I look for and the type of client that I work with.
Good, very, very good. And when I met you last year, you just happened to be in Paris to follow the 1.5 month
yes.
of type design.
Yes, I did the intense course, the Type Paris 18. So proud of all of us and myself for getting through it. It was so life-changing, to say the least. I learned so much, and I wasn't planning on becoming a professional typographer with my learnings. What I wanted to do is take that course so that I could better understand typography in a more intimate way, so that I could then use it to my benefit when presenting to clients, and also be able to be more astute with my choices and articulate the differences that I really thought were important for my designs in order to become better and more valuable to my clients.
Good, that's a good thing. That's a very good thing, because I met really talented people. We had the chance last year to follow the sessions online, because you follow 5 weeks of class.
Yeah.
Intense.
Yes,
you
very
have to
intense.
draw and redraw again.
So much drawing. It was actually wonderful. I mean, it was such a nice break from being on the computer. It was really an eye-opener.
Everything on layout paper,
everything on tracing paper, and over and over again. I've drawn so many A's. I have piles and piles of letters. That's great, but that's nothing compared to Jean-Francois. So
yeah, because what you end up doing was this, the Mademoiselle Didot. It's your first
my first
typography.
Yes, my first font.
And so this one took like 1.5 months.
Yeah, about. I mean, a little bit less, just because we start the class, and the idea is that we are learning fundamentals and understanding the basics of calligraphy and letter forms. And while we're practicing through that, we're ideating in our mind as to where we're going to take our typographic solution. So by week 2, we're already starting to get into that. And by week 5, we've completed the font, though it might not be actually complete. I mean, there's definitely much that I would go back to go and fix, but for the sake of being finished, you know, we have to complete the font in order to graduate. So yes,
that's a minimum requirement.
Yes, minimum requirement is you have to finish everything, all of the glyphs. I think there was over 200 glyphs. So.
And I think that resonates a lot with people around us, which is doing stuff is a good thing. Starting it is nice.
Starting is nice.
Finishing is really the
hardest
part.
That's the hardest part. That's right.
Yeah,
so now at least I can go back and fix things because I have finished it. So I think the advice was given to us to spend some time away from the font so that we don't continuously keep working on it, because we'll get lost in a rabbit hole. And to take a break and then come back and look at it and with fresh eyes. So I might do that this summer.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So,
fun people. Yeah, let's see.
Beautiful designs. Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Merci beaucoup, Jérôme.
Mr. Jérôme Bird.
Jérôme Bird. Ouais.
And yeah, for the ones who are interested in the Type Paris, every week, Jean-François Porchez receives 2 guests every week.
Yes.
During 5 weeks, and that's called the TP Talks. TP Talks, you can just get a registration online.
Yeah, you can register online, and then you'll be there to go. It's free.
And for the one who missed last year's talk, we have a full playlist of Type
wonderful.
Paris.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
You might meet everyone, like Morag Meyerskov, who had a lot of colors, Alex Trossiu, Laura Messager, everyone from 2018, 2017, 2016.
Ooh,
also.
wow.
Yeah,
there's some good TP talks.
A huge one, and everyone is there, so you can try and go back in time.
Cool.
The very good thing for me, and for French users, is that we are gonna have interviews with our guests this year, and I'm gonna receive them.
Cool.
All in English this year.
Yeah. Sorry. But yay! We can all understand.
Yeah, everybody's gonna have a little bit of work on that.
Totally.
So, if we go back to your work, one of the questions I usually have when I'm interviewing someone is there one moment which has been a turning point in your career in design?
Yeah, I mean, actually a couple moments. Speaking of Type Paris, that's definitely one of them. I think there's been a few. Notable moments of change in my life was moving to San Francisco and having no network and no one. So I had to really rebuild myself there and find a new path and find new opportunities. So it was very much like uprooting my life. And when I got there, I freelanced for quite a bit, for about 9 months before I realized that I wanted to do something very specific. Yeah. And it was good for me because I had some time to just kind of feel it out and meet with people and do some work here and there and see what I really liked as a person, not just as a professional. And then I worked at fuseproject for about 6.5 years. They're an international design firm that is mainly focused in industrial design. Okay. And I ran their branding efforts, and that was a big turning point for me too, because I was really able to have full autonomy and understand what it's like to work with clients and startups. So that really grew my interest in understanding the complexities of a startup business versus an existing company. And I felt really invigorated, like meeting the entrepreneurs and meeting clients and seeing their dreams and how they talk about them. It made me really connect with that because I felt like I could offer something to them that they couldn't do themselves, yet they were so passionate about a product or a service that they'd created, and I wanted to be able to help them see that become alive. So that was a big turning point for me, and that really had me focus into branding very deeply.
Yeah, because in that case, when you arrived there, you were like on your own.
Yeah.
But you had someone above you to drive you.
Totally, yeah. I mean, I was pretty senior at the time, but I'd never worked in that capacity as a senior designer. I had always worked for big, large, global existing clients in advertising, so that was kind of like pushing me into the water and being like, if you can do that, try this. And then I was like, oh, this is totally different. I mean, there's similarities, but there's also very wild differences in working with an existing establishment versus creating something new.
That's good. That's very good.
Yeah.
Okay. And at one moment, you turned from Kristine Arth to Lobster Phone.
I did, yeah.
What happened?
So that was a huge turning point for me. I decided that I needed creative freedom. And in order to have creative freedom, I needed to go out on my own. So I had quit my previous job at fuseproject, and I said, thank you, this has been wonderful, I've learned a lot, and I'm going to explore my life. And I applied to Type Paris. Because I was like, what would be better than spending the summer in Paris? Yeah. Except I didn't know I would be spending it inside of a room in front of a computer.
Yeah, there are like windows around.
Yeah, some windows. Not too many where we were. The new office, much more windows. Where we were, no windows. There was a skylight. So I got accepted into Type Paris, and I feel like the rest was history. I had applied for a business application before I left San Francisco, and when I got back, all the paperwork was there for me, and I was like, I started a business while I was gone. I had no idea.
That's nice. That's like some kind of magical thing.
Totally. It was very magical. It was magical and also like deep of paperwork. I was like, oh, this is a lot of paperwork I have to do. So coming out of Type Paris, I had a new sense of confidence, but also it kind of broke my design brain, where I was like, everything I thought I knew, I had to relearn. Okay, yeah. You know, because it was just such a revealing fundamental difference between what I had known and what I thought I knew. That it was like I was a fresh designer all over again. And I think having that kind of eye-opening experience of like, very humbling too, where I'm like, I'm actually not very good at such a thing. And I'm actually, you know, like I really need to work on X, and maybe this isn't for me. And I was like, oh my God, did I do the wrong thing? I was like, I was like, So I pretty much, deconstructed my entire design life, and have been rebuilding it the past year with Lobster Phone. and have had a lot of fun clients that are on my own. And I work with a strategist. Her name is Nancy. And I'm actually going to be designing her book cover today.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, she's my business partner, but she's also an author and a very, very fantastic marketer and strategist. So she's worked for a lot of the best companies in the United States, such as Starbucks and Lululemon, defining what their strategy and their marketing is. So she knows her stuff. But she's also an amazing author, and I'm really excited to design her book cover.
Yeah, that's great. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
And I think it's a bit too early if she's in the United States right now. She must be sleeping.
She doesn't even know I'm doing this yet.
When she wakes up, she has a book cover.
She'll see my WhatsApp being like, hey, you know what I decided to do? Design your book cover on French Live TV. And then I was like, yay! See you later. Good night. And I'm like typing away, and then I'm like, oh, great. I have to go meet Frank. So I kind of decided this morning.
What's happening?
Yeah.
What was the first project you did after coming back from
Type Paris? Well, I did.
Which one here is the one of the closest?
Oh, the closest? Well, let's see. I did a lot at the same time, but if you go to the AIGA Y24.
Yeah. No, I saw this one.
That was. Where is that? Is that not in there? Oh, it's not in there yet.
So it's in Kristine.
Oh, yeah, it's in Kristine. Yep, there it is.
Yeah.
I haven't published it yet in Lobster Phone, but that was one of the first ones that I had designed, and especially using my typographic skills. So new skills, new hobby, and then new company. And
everything was quite new at the moment.
Yeah, it was very new at the moment. I was like, well, AIGA is the American Institute of Graphic Arts, and their San Diego chapter, they do a large conference every year called the Y. And they said, why don't you design the Y for us? And I'm like, perfect. I'm going to also do a typeface. And they're like, amazing. I'm like, why not? I can. So they let me have free reign to do whatever I wanted. And I thought it would be really fun to create a typeface that spoke like a manifesto from the 70s that was like almost a protest, but also like, join us. Why not? Like, yes, we can do this. Or yes, this is the year of yes. And I called it the Year of Yes because I was just coming off of quitting my job and I was saying yes to a lot of things where I'm like, yes, I'll go to France. Yes, I'll design your company. Yes, I will meet you in Morocco or whatever. I just kept saying yes to things. And I'm like, well, this is working for me. Maybe I should see how it would work for someone else.
So everything has to be positive.
Yeah, exactly.
Positive mind for all the time. And
totally.
Did they really do the print on the socks? Or
no, I really wanted them to, but I think that they really wanted to, but it's expensive. So, everything costs money. But they did do a lot of interesting things. They made earrings with the Ys.
Oh, nice.
And they did a lot of tumblers, like glassware, notebooks. They had so much collateral, but they didn't have socks. That was a damn shame.
So how many characters?
I only did those.
Okay.
Those are the only characters. There's a few extended. I believe I have.
You put them.
Yes, extra glyphs. There's an extra set of specific glyphs for I think 7 or 8 different letters. The K has 2. Yes, the K, the R.
The K is here. The R, I can see it. Second one.
Exactly. And then for the numbers, they all had secondary numbers so that they could be more upright versus more rounded and elaborate. Yeah.
Really nice.
Yeah, it was fun. It was just all based off of just having a fun drawing and thinking that, oh, this is a cool logo. Maybe I should make a font out of it, which is where most of my ideas come from. I'm like, that's a fun logo. Maybe we should make a font out of this. Yeah.
Very good. Very, very good. So today, book cover for your friend and
the cover.
Co-worker.
That's right. Yeah, Nancy.
Associate.
Yes, co-worker, associate, all the things.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do we do? Do we jump on your screen?
Yeah, we can jump on my screen. I can show you. Ready? I can show you all the brief that I have put together. Okay. So, perfect. Okay, let's do this. So I was given a brief by the author, and she said, okay, so she wants it to be cool, modern, progressive, but with a hint of badass. And I was like, oh, I like that. That's kind of fun. And ideally, the reason why is that it's called Work Freely, and it's all about loving your job and loving your life. It's kind of like breaking the chains and the stigma of what is the the common and the normal way to work, that we all have to do a 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., like 8-hour shift at a job where, you know, you go in, that's when you're supposed to be creative, and then you leave and you turn off and you have your personal life, which doesn't exist.
Oh.
You know, like everybody, you get creative and inspired at any time of the day. So when she says work freely, it really means to be able to find a scenario in your life where you're able to make your own work and you're able to work on something at any time of day so that you're able to do your best work. And it's a much more deep book than that, but I think I'm covering over some of the overall theme, which is to really be able to build a life where you love your job. And I feel like I'm living that right now. So I'm like, I'm living my best life. I was like, I love what I do, and I feel really lucky.
Yeah, it's like you're designing the book cover of your life right now.
Totally.
But it's not for you.
No,
so
it's for her. Yeah, I was like, this is great. I don't mind. Yeah. So just to think a little bit about who our muse is, what we like to do is, since she's a strategist and we work in strategy, we always think about who is the muse, which is the target, which is who do we want to buy this book or who do we want to see this product. And it's somewhere in between 35 and 40 years old, a professional woman that's in a leadership role. So I think that, you know, also the audience would be men and women alike. But I think that when we're thinking of who this is specifically designed for, it's a woman that's like powerful. Okay. It's a powerful woman that loves design. And then things that we want to think about are that, you know, we want this to be Instagram worthy. We want somebody to, you know, take notes and highlight and share quotes from it. It should be able to show up really well on a thumbnail in Amazon, and because it's going to be sold on Amazon. And then, you know, something that people can keep on their desk or in their bag and hold on to, that they'd be proud to hold. So they all seem pretty table stakes for a book, but I think that, you know, when you look at books that are out there, there's a lot of really boring books. And they have great information, but they're just, no one buys them. So, yeah.
How do you get inspired in that case? Do you have like, do you ask your client to show you what she wants, what she doesn't want? Do you already have your ideas?
Well, for this particular project, since I know her so well and we are partners, I asked her to put together mood boards for me that would show me the look and feel of a couple themes that she likes. Usually I would do this myself, and then based on the strategy, I would create mood boards and I would put together a visual template that then I would present to the client, and then I would say, how do you feel? You know, like, look at this as though it's a mirage. You can't look at anything in particular, but if you look at all of it together and you squint your eyes, you can kind of see what I'm going for. So in this case, since she has a pretty good aesthetic and she has a pretty good understanding of what she was trying to create, I had her give me themes. So the first theme is all about forward. So you can see with the type, it's like very progressive. Some of it's even on an angle. There's bold colors, but it's very minimal and it's simple. And then using some, like, I feel like it's a Nutra or a Noi typeface, like something like Helvetica or Unica or Sans. But then also really beautiful from the Yves Saint Laurent book cover is just very simple. And then the second theme was focus. So this is all about really thinking about the title and how we could focus on the title by itself or with imagery. And we can play around with the type and be a little bit more expressive with typography here. So that could be fun. I think that this is going to be a lot of fun to create something for. And then the third one is more experience forward. So this is all being more photographically led. So the idea is that it's like similar to people who are hiking or forest bathing or, you know, like relaxing. It's the idea that you can work from anywhere. So how do we embody that idea? And, you know, if photography is the choice that we do, how do we do it in maybe a more graphic way? Because something like this is nice, but I'm not really a fan of full photography on the cover just because it feels like too immersive, where I want someone to focus. So I do like the idea of it being held within a shape so that there's focus and there's somewhere for your eye to go specifically. So yeah, that being said, I pulled some photography, I pulled some color palettes, nice. I pulled some type, I set some type in some fonts that I was working with that I thought might be nice to play around with. I might not use any of these. I don't know. We'll have to see when we get in there.
It gives you a direction.
Yeah, it gives me direction. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm starting with some colors. Like it could be something in this area that's more natural. It could have a pop color. We could go very pop color. There's something in this like nature / vibrant modern palette. And then I was thinking that we might do something that's a little bit more Behance and plain, so that it has a bit of this primary element to it, which I think is all about getting back to basics and understanding. Maybe not the green, maybe not the yellow. I was like, one of these is we're not working, and we'll figure out which one. But something where we can get back to basics, because essentially, if you're going to work freely, it's all about, you know, being efficient. So I want the book cover to feel like efficiency, but also beauty.
Nice.
Yeah. So should I begin?
I think so.
Okay, great. So I will begin. I also did some sketches. So I came in this morning, and Frank and I hung out for a bit, and I did some sketches. So I'm just going to show you some general sketches. I'll be like, yeah. So I'm like 1, 2, 3.
How many sketches
4,
do you usually do in that case?
5. Oh, I'll do so many sketches. 6, maybe like a couple hundred. And then I'll pick like maybe...
don't move too fast, because people are completely missing that.
That's okay. You're not going to see them anyway. You'll see me design them.
Okay.
But what I can do is I can always take a photo and import it. That way I've got them all on my mood board, which is nice, because sometimes I will do that.
And if you had an assistant do that for you,
yeah, I know. I would. No, I'm going to do that. I love doing this. Yeah, this is kind of fun. It's all part of the process, you know. So I will show you guys my process, which is, you know, very simple. I will sketch. So I saved you the time by not having to watch me sketch, because that would be a very boring show. But I also will photograph these, and then I'll bring them in, and then I can use them as inspiration as we start to lay out different covers, so that I have a path. Much like this book, I want to create a path for myself so that I know where I'm going in design, and so that I don't stray too far just because I aesthetically like something. I'll let myself, you know, explore and go down a rabbit hole a little bit, but I also want to make sure that I'm not, you know, getting off track, because I have a certain amount of time, and I want to make sure that I've got all of this ready. Okay, so I had those. I airdropped those to myself. Let's see. I'm going to go in here and pick them up. I think these are them. So I'll open these and see what that came out like. I'm curious what everybody else is working on right now. If they're also working on some book covers, or if they're working on other graphic design. You'll have to let us know. Let me see. Turn my volume down. Perfect. All right. Taking some snapshots of these. And I think this is the last one. Okay, cool. Let's do this.
Let's do this.
All right, we can go back to my screen.
Just in case some people came in late and just wonder why we're always speaking in English.
Yeah.
Pour les retardataires, hein, donc aujourd'hui je reçois Kristine Arth qui va nous faire le design de couverture de livre. Et dans son design de couverture de livre, en fait, elle va vous montrer eh bien, tout le process. D'abord, on a passé l'étape des dessins, des petits roughs d'intention, à chaque fois très simple, mais avec de la couleur en plus. Alors lesquels? Which ones are missing? You had 5 of
yeah,
those?
these two are missing.
Yeah.
Yep, I was like, something's missing. You noticed too. All right. Oh, nope, that's there.
Et une fois que toute la base du brief a été mise en place, eh bien on va pouvoir passer justement à la conception, voir un petit peu comment ces idées-là peuvent être mises en forme rapidement.
Okay. Let's see. I know. Almost.
Don't worry, everything's fine. Everybody's following.
Oh, good. Good.
My microphone sounds more quiet.
Yours does? Well, it's good that you have people to tell you
usually I'm
this.
by myself, so I don't hear myself a lot. Okay. And I try not to make too much noise and listen to myself with my own voice with a delay, and it really sucks.
That's so funny. Here we go.
That's the issue of not having a French Paco.
Yes, right? French Paco. I miss French Paco already. It's funny because back at the Adobe office in San Francisco, we always call you French Paco. We love it.
I know.
We're like, French Paco, how is he? Actually, San Francisco Paco said to say hello. He was like, oh, you're going to see French Paco? And I was like, yeah, we're doing a show together. Are you jealous? He's like, I am jealous.
So he can come anytime and
totally. He can come and help us.
Yeah. Sound for me. That's
exactly. Perfect. So now we can see we've got all of these in place. And what I'm going to do is actually just move these up a bit. Add these to my artboard. And they're actually like to size, which is kind of crazy. It's a 5x7 book cover, so 5 inches by 7 inches, and this is what my size will be. So I'm just gonna jump in. Which one should I start with? Does anybody have a favorite?
Which one do you like? Do you like most? You have numbers here.
I will put some numbers on these, and we can see what people are liking so far. One, two,
second one, third one.
Yeah, I know, right? I was like 3. There's so many. And we won't have to design them all, but we might. You never know. And I used the highlighter to, whoops.
Yeah.
4.
Do only the odd or evens.
Yeah.
And people will get the other one.
Yeah.
5A, 5B.
Yeah, right? I used the highlighter this morning just to give some emphasis because I wasn't sure what colors I'm going to use yet. So I didn't want to start to color coordinate and maybe confuse myself too much until I really see something laid out, and then I'll feel the color out. So by using just one color and a color that, you know, is a little bit...
Might not use,
it's kind of fun to see. So these are the covers thus far.
So we have one vote from Anis about the one with crossed line, which is 8.
Number 8? Okay, cool. I might just start with 8 then. Let's do that. That could be fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a good start.
Yeah, right? I think that could be fun. So I'm going to bring number 8 down here and get started. So for me...
Marco votes for 8 too.
Oh, cool. All right. Number 8 it is. Yeah, they're all like, work freely. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Let's work freely. Let's take a look at some of this type. Let me see. What does that one look like? Yeah.
So no more 8 speech, please.
1, 8, and 4. Okie doke. So I'm going to start with that. Number 4. One, 8, 4. It's like a cell number or something. Okay.
No, usually 3 is the magic number.
Totally.
No, I don't put music on that. On this
no?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. So I have to sing. You told me that? Okay. So I did like Acumen. I think that's going to be the wrong font. What I'm going to start out doing first is just drawing. And I think I'm going to do something that's kind of random like this. I'm going to use this as my template, and literally I'm going to draw. Because I wanted it to feel kind of loose and a little bit organic to make it feel like it's not just lines that are straight. The other one I'm going to do pretty geometric. But this one I wanted to feel kind of...
handmade.
Yeah, exactly. Like Sol Bass.
Paper. Yeah, Sol Bass is definitely a reference. Yeah.
You know. Yeah. And this is fun because I want to iterate quite a bit before I decide where to go. So you know, this would just be our first pass at things, and then once I continue to design, I'll obviously refine and get the client's feedback. And see, you know, maybe they love all of them, maybe they don't like anything. You know, that's what we do as designers, to get some designs out of my system and then see what sticks. Actually, I'm going to start that from the bottom.
And that's fun that you mentioned design out of your system, because
Yeah.
design systems is Adobe is all about that right now with
Totally.
XD.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things we've heard, and that's one of the things we've been building a lot of things before, whichever graphical, music, videos, whatever, is always about system, being able to do once, reuse,
totally,
to get a branding identity.
Totally. And I usually do identities, so I kind of flipped it up today, very different, because I'm obviously by trade an identity designer. So to do a book cover is kind of fun and also freeing for me, which I normally don't design things that are just one-offs. I don't do posters, and I don't do just regular design. I specifically work on systems. So for me, this is like a break, you know, it's kind of fun. And I'm going to move these around and see just what to do here.
Which is crazy is that, can you zoom out?
Oh, yeah.
What do you think about the heat down there?
The what?
Heat.
The H? Heat. Heat
and miss. HIT.
Oh, the HIT. Oh, yeah, totally. I can see that hit and miss. Totally. Yeah, you can see it.
We've got a first question from Marco, who was just there before, says, why don't you use Adobe Capture?
Oh, I could use Adobe Capture, but the thing is that these are so loose sketches that I don't want them to look that similar. Plus, with a sketch like that, I'll show you some Adobe Capture stuff that I have in a minute, because some of them are really fun that I've caught. And I like to say that I've caught some cool things. Let's see. Okay. I'm just going to start to cut these apart for fun.
And anybody having any question about the process, the way she's working, or any question, don't hesitate to ask, because we're definitely here to pick my brain. Tell me. Answer.
I'm curious if you all work with a mouse or if you work with a tablet, because I work with a mouse, obviously, and it's not always normal. I'd say some people are like, how do you illustrate with a mouse? And I'm like, because I just do. It's like normal for me. I want some sharper edges here. Some of these are too soft for my taste. So you're having a pretty big week or pretty big month with all of the Type Paris guests.
Because we're gonna receive a lot of people here. We're gonna receive Dan Reynolds on Thursday.
Oh,
he's
cool.
He's a nice type designer. He came from the US. Now he's working in Berlin.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a nice one. Then we are having another guest next Thursday. No, not next Thursday. Next Thursday is off for me.
Oh, yeah?
So the week after that one, we're gonna receive Astrid Stavro, which comes from Pentagram. Exactly.
Yeah, that'll be wonderful.
Oh, that's gonna be great, because we're having really high level guests like every time. So that's very
wonderful.
Fun. The week after that, it's gonna be the first week of July, so Maria Montes will be with us.
Oh, fun!
And we end up with Lisa Ennebeis, and she's working for Studio Dunbar in Netherlands.
So cool.
That's very impressive, because we're having a bunch of people here which really have
they're pulsed on design for sure, 100%. So I'm already starting to just move things around, and I gotta get some type in there so that I can see what feels right. Hammersmith, I'm not quite sure. I feel like something really plain would be good for this. Yeah, Newhouse Graphica. All right, so I'm using Newhouse Unica. I'm gonna just take this apart.
And split.
I'm gonna see what it looks like. Heavy. Something that will start to have us lead into the idea of breaking bars. So this idea of like cutting through what it is. And that's the whole feeling behind this design, is that there's all these things that get in people's way over time that they kind of use as excuses to not make changes that are good for them in their life. And I think this book kind of reconciles some of that by saying, actually that's wrong, by saying that, you know, like you have to listen to yourself. And by doing so, you'll find some answers. I think this is too sharp.
At what moment do you realize you have to listen to yourself?
Every single day. I don't think that ever changes where you're like, oh, you know what, now I'm going to listen. It's like every day I struggle with it. And I'm like, should I do this? I don't know. I mean, like, it feels really uncomfortable. And I think that a lot of times if something feels uncomfortable, it's probably worth doing because you're actually going to learn. And even if it's not right, you're going to figure something out about yourself that you might not have already known.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's all about leaving the comfort zone.
Yes, exactly.
So Evil Series was mentioning capture, great for patterns, brushes, colors and fonts.
Yes.
Even 3D materials and looks. Oh, looks are back.
Oh, looks are back.
It's a question. I don't know.
I don't know.
Because
maybe.
I don't know which version I have. And he also mentioned that he's working with a mouse usually.
Oh yeah.
But
cool.
Also on the iPad because of Project Gemini.
And
that rocks.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Nobody knows about that here. We're gonna.
No, you guys are gonna get Gemini soon though, right?
I hope so. I have no idea.
I have no idea either.
Like,
I don't know Project Gemini.
At Max, they were mentioning like 2019. So from January 1, everybody was like, so when is it?
You're like, is it happening now? Yeah, is it time?
No, well, they waited January 2 because the first one they were like, completely drunk.
Oh yeah.
But
totally.
January 2, everybody was like, yeah, when is it coming? Because we saw that and you mentioned 2019. Yeah, it's not there yet.
That's funny. It'll happen soon enough, right?
I guess so.
I hope so.
I hope
for our sake.
we start to see people using it on Instagram a lot. There's a hashtag Project Gemini, and there are two things on Project Gemini hashtag. There's one thing about the Adobe illustration software on the iPad.
Yes.
That's very nice. And there's also a NASA project with all the astronauts.
Oh yeah.
So half of my feed on Instagram on that hashtag is about
astronauts.
It's kind of strange.
That's kind of funny though. Yeah, you know, I always notice that with Paul Trani is that sometimes his feed has like turtles all over it, and I'm like, what's going on with the turtles? And it's like, oh, it's World Water Week or something. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, sure. So I'm starting to square some of these off a little bit more so they're more rigid, and I think that that's helping. Oh. I have to join. I don't know. That's okay. I don't need the internet right now. Or I shouldn't need the internet, I hope.
if you do.
If I do, yeah, I'll join.
I'm going to give you internet credit.
Yeah, good. Internet credit. I like that.
It's like the camping when you don't have any token for the shower.
Yeah, right?
Sorry, no more internet.
Sorry. You're like, what? No. Yeah. I like that these are becoming a little bit more squared off, but they still have that natural feel that is like Saul Bass-ish. It kind of has a French vibe to it, no? Because of the colors, yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
You're like, yeah, I guess so. You're like, you are here. I guess you are using that as some experience. I also think I need to keep these together in order to read well, because it's not feeling right without them being close together. So I'm going to work on how it can lock up around them. Yeah.
It's always a challenge.
Yeah, totally. So these aren't working. I'm going to use these instead, but make them slightly different.
Yeah, so you don't redo everything.
Yeah, exactly. And so
you avoid repeating patterns.
Exactly. I also want to make a little bit of a path so you can see that there's some white space in there, but not too much.
Now, did you guys notice that in Illustrator now you have the exact same function as in InDesign, that you can hide the space around?
Oh, which space around? What do you mean?
The preview, everything.
Oh, everything around this? Yeah, it's like
They made a preview.
Oh, yeah. F, right?
Yeah.
Or
so.
F? No. No.
No,
it's just F. Yeah, like this.
Yeah. No, there's another one. I'm sure there's another one. Wait a second.
That's cool though.
Display. Oh, they didn't put a shortcut, basically. It's in display, view.
Mm-hmm.
And it's trim.
Trim view. Oh, yeah. So then it's just my artboard. Oh, that looks so nice, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, oh, it's so much better without all the crap on the side. Yeah, totally. How do I untrim?
Same thing. And
trim view.
One moment we're gonna
Got it. That's cool. Good. Then you guys can see that I'm not too crazy, right? Not too crazy, just crazy enough.
No, just to relax the eyes.
Yeah, you're like, can you put that on? This is driving me crazy.
You know the pink stuff?
Yeah, right?
Stuff on the right?
Yeah.
No,
oh, this? Yeah, exactly. To get rid of it. Too funny. Okay, so I have other type and other messaging that I have to add in here, so I should probably take a look. Love your job, love your life.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That is true. We are going to do that. What else do we have to have in here? We have to have the authors. And then that's it. So I'm going to bring them down. I wonder if we do this in blue. And I also wonder if we bring in another font. Let's see. I feel like Coutures. No. Tenaz. Tenaz. I think this is an Adobe font.
Good. Ooh. If you need some strategy advice, Yves Béhar is say that Kristine Arth, not too crazy, can be directly on your business card.
That's right.
And Anis really wants the badass part.
Oh yeah, the badass part.
I think the sharpness could help better than the squared corners.
Yeah. So he likes that sharp. That's good. I'm gonna see what this looks like uppercase, just for fun. Ooh, that's very intense. I think it's not right.
Stronger,
yeah, it's too strong.
Not so easy.
Yes. Oh, no wonder my mail's like, we can't authorize anything, and I'm like, okay. Okay, so this one, I think what I will start to do is some of these will not be
no more effect.
There.
No more blending mode.
Yeah, just some of them, so that it has some more dimension to it.
Yeah, completely.
Looks and then like this one. Behind. Yeah, exactly. I kind of like that better, actually.
That's interesting.
Versus the blending. Let's take a look at that.
It's really funny to see how it evolved from the beginning up to now.
Oh, I know, right? It's always the case where it's like, oh, so that's what it's like. So you can really start to feel things moving around as though they are in front and back. And it's nice to have that. So this, I might move this over quite a bit. And then, all right, so we've got the love your job, love your life. That is 8 point. That is just enough. I think we might be too bold, so let's go back to regular. And then I will do Nuhas Unica for this, but I'm going to do it in thin, very small. And I might take out the second type. I'm not sure it's working. I think this has to be too simple, or it has to be simple. You know?
If you want to work freely.
Yeah, simplicity is key. Let's make sure these are all left aligned. Oop. So, let's see.
That's nice. It's
starting to come alive.
Yeah,
I think. Good. There we go. That feels better. Okay, let's see what it looks like. Trim mode. Not bad.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of fun. Okay, so we've got one cover. Let's move on.
One cover from the 1252.
Let's move on. This is fun. Okay, I'm just gonna mask this out so we don't have to trim next time. And okay, work freely, done. That one is over with. I'm actually gonna try something different. I'm gonna go with this one instead. I'm going to create a new artboard. Drag this over because I've already got my 5x7 in place.
I get a question from Evil Series.
Oh yeah.
How are you picking the colors? Based on color harmony?
Yeah, for the most part, color harmony and personal preference. And then lastly, I'm going up to some of the colors that I've seen in some of the mood boards. I liked the red, even though it's not prominent. It's in the corner here. I liked actually the way that this pairs with the green, so I might do something bold like that for the second option. I think I'm going to do something a little bit more Memphis-based for this one, where it is all uppercase, and it's kind of, maybe not this font, because that's a bit silly. Might use that somewhere else. But maybe Commuter Sans, which I quite like right now. It's pretty fun. So thin, maybe regular.
No, definitely this time client didn't define any color scheme.
No, I don't think so. They, I'm pretty lucky with this one since it's, get to do what I want. So it's kind of fun. That's why we all get to choose the sketches together today. So what I'm going to do is make some big shapes. Let's see, something like this with this one. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to bring these in. That's a little bit strange. So maybe it's kind of fun. All right. I'm also going to create a simple path. Looks like two paths there. How strange. Oh, there we go. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to type on the path for this one.
So goodbye, Jerome. The first one is leaving us for lunch.
The first one is?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Jerome has to leave. Goodbye, Jerome.
Enjoy. Goodbye, Jerome. Thank you for joining us today. I like this idea of it feeling like it's free, where the word feels like it's moving around.
Trying to escape.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I want to be free. Help me be free.
I want to be freely. What?
Yeah, exactly.
I want to learn grammar. Okay.
Exactly. Freely.
Johan says he's always impressed to see how complicated it can be to do very simple designs.
Yeah, right.
Especially like as in photography. So I guess the background is photography here.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's always like when I used to train not kids, they were already in high school. They sometimes they didn't want to work.
Right.
And sometimes they'd be like, yeah, you know, I did this minimalistic thing. So,
oh yeah, totally.
And I said, no, you need to make the difference between minimal and minimum. And what you did is minimum work, like the work.
Minimum, yeah, exactly. You still have to have an idea.
Yeah, there's a difference
Precisely.
between lazy and
yes,
and focused on something. Yeah,
totally. It is true. Because every little detail counts. I think that's the thing that people forget sometimes. Even this, it's like a little bit strange the way that this is laying out. Maybe because of the size. I want the L to be flat and the E to be
on side.
Yeah, because otherwise the L feels strange if it's on an angle. It feels like it's not working.
Anniversaries wants to break free.
Yes, it wants to break free. I want to break free. Yeah.
I think it's Queen's year.
Yeah, right? It is Queen's year. Totally.
I try to be simple, but it's complicated. Yeah.
This one? Yeah.
It's always complicated to make simple things and to
totally.
make them work.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's actually harder to design more minimally and have it have meaning than it is to just design. Like extra. Like if we look at some of the book covers here, like this, so complicated. You know, like these are, they feel complicated.
You get shapes all around, you get directions.
And like this, so complicated. I couldn't even imagine. I mean, it's not good nor bad, but it's just very complicated. Where these I really like just because they're so simple, but again, it's hard to think. And I think the reason that they are so simple is because Frank Gehry, amazing architect, and it's very structural. So that makes sense for him.
That's interesting to have a Frank Gehry on straight things.
Yeah, I know, right? No, I know. It's like,
Can I
you're like, that's, yeah, you're like, that's very interesting. Yeah, that's true. I didn't even, didn't think about that right away, but you are right. That's funny. Let's see.
Can I put more like aluminium and the bend?
Yeah.
Fold it? Yeah, that's
I think this is right. This is right. 100%.
Okay, guys, now make it real size.
You're like, oh, yeah. Maybe.
I never received architects.
No.
Yeah. I should someday.
You should.
Johan Quinta hopes that lazy can create a good idea too.
Yeah.
Or he hopes so. Yeah, lazy can create good idea, but it means lazy with a lot of practice before.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Once you know your flow, once you know where you're comfortable with, maybe lazy gives good ideas.
Maybe. Very rarely, I think. I think the lazy design is always detected. Maybe that's a personal preference. So let's see. I think I might actually pair this with, what is it, Acumen? Yeah. Because Commuter's nice, but it's too wide. And I quite like Acumen variable. And I'm going to align to artboard, so this is kind of fun. There we go.
Nice.
Yeah, something playful, but also simple in a way, and it feels like a road where your work is going this way, but freely takes a detour. So it's simple, but it's also necessary.
It's really funny to hear you talk like that. It makes me think of the hovering art director.
Yeah?
Did you see that?
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love the hovering art director. I'm usually the hovering art director. Not anymore, though, because I am the only director.
Yeah, I am the only one.
Yeah, I'm the only one now, but it is kind of fun. This tangent of where the L is, the L in this line, it's going to bug me. So it's either...
It's going to be dangerous.
Yeah, very, very dangerous. So I think what I do is I move this over quite a bit so that it cuts more into the center. And then what I'll end up doing is lengthening... Where is that? Lengthening this as to move out. Because what we don't want to do is have it be an annoying tangent that is distracting.
Yes, definitely this kind of accident you can see like professional artists or designer are just gonna avoid. Like if something is really close, it's whether a decision or a mistake.
Yes.
Most of the time it's a mistake.
It's usually a mistake, yes. But if it's like this, I think this is still even not right. I mean, we could go exactly centered, and that would be... I think there's something off about it being exactly centered. I'm not quite sure. It feels wrong. Yeah, there's something wrong about it being centered. I think it has to be in between. But it could cut the O in the center, and that would be good. Okay. No, too much.
Yeah.
It was better the way it was. Yeah. So this is extra light. I wonder... Light, but
option you get.
Smaller. And then a little bit wider. Not too much. And then this... I'm going to go with regular or light. Yeah, light. And keep them the same. This one needs more. I'll double it.
Yeah, it's always a big question. Big letters can be closer, smaller letters
totally
can be readable, legible.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that's fun.
Number
We've got
two?
number 2. Or number 5 is gone, so we'll just start knocking them out. That one's done. That one's been done. I was thinking of creating something that was a little bit more like kind of romantic in a way. I guess that's maybe not the correct word, but I like the idea of it having a bit of romance to it. Very simple. But maybe with more of a blush color.
Okay.
So that is not quite the color I'm looking for. Something soft where if we were to, like since it's for a woman and it's our muse, I want it to be kind of blush or skin tone.
Okay.
Which is a bit sexy.
So meanwhile, I'm taking pictures.
Oh, cool. I like that. I'm like, are you designing too? Awesome.
No,
I was like, get on in here.
And exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. Same idea.
Yeah. I was
Same
like,
idea,
no
same
way.
result. Wow.
I was like, wow, Frank, we share a brain. I love this.
No, we only share a screen.
Yeah, right? You're like, no, we're not sharing a brain, just a screen. I'm like, oh, bummer. It would be fun, though. Could you imagine if we thought the same things? That'd be crazy.
No, that'd be... I would be bothered.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to share...
A brain. No, that would be awful.
I think Bradbury did that.
Who?
Ray Bradbury.
Oh, yeah.
In
totally.
Martian Chronicles.
Yes.
And that was not a good idea.
That was not a good idea,
you
no.
have to wear a mask before.
Yeah, totally. I think we go vibrant with this, so it's like a pink with red. And then that means that this blush gets a lot softer and lighter. But maybe not too light, because I want to make sure that we use white type over this so that it could be kind of interesting. I like this contrast of pink and red. It's kind of hot to me right now. Okay. Let's see what Tenez looks like italicized. Don't like that.
No, it's very funny that you did a big job before of picking fonts.
Yeah, I'm always pretty specific about my fonts, and it takes me a while. So that's something that, you know, I would spend hours doing. And some of these bring out the aesthetic that I'm looking for, such as beauty or sincerity, honesty, and some of them have complexity. Like I love the way that this one looks, Italiana. It feels like affluent to the books that I'm designing. Hammersmith, no. Tenor Sans, no. Let's see what other fonts that I've got.
So Hyperlit is asking, what's the French title for that book?
The French title? Work freely, love your job, love your life.
Travailler librement. Travailler librement, aimer votre boulot, aimer votre vie. I don't know if we have to shorten that. Is it different between French and English?
Yeah, that's very long, right?
Can be very short.
It's too long.
Let's make a German version.
German version? Okay. Ich bin eine Frau. It just means work quickly, woman. I think that would be the German version of this book.
Arbeit macht frei?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't use that.
So funny.
Don't the one with the gate. You can't.
Yes. And maybe I'll actually do this in white. No, I like the red. Okay, so this isn't the right text, but what I'm going to do is cycle through some of the fonts that I already have loaded and see how I feel about them. I'm looking for a serif that has thick enough strokes, but enough...
More Egyptian thinking?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe you can filter.
Something. I think...
the kind of person to filter your fonts.
No. Me?
Yeah.
No. Oh, here we go. Domain display. I think this, but like domain display text sans. Yes, something that feels nice. Okay. Simplicity. Okay, and then I'm going to cut this open to feel the freeness of what this is. Just something simple. It feels like it's letting you in or out of the box, where you're like you were once in a box feeling that it was too much, and now it feels as though you can leave. Let's see. I think we need to be sans. That's what it was.
So somebody managed to put Behance's address in the nickname. That's clever.
Oh, clever.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
Hello, Kevin.
Yeah, hello, Kevin. How are you? Oh, Kevin Schneider. Yeah. I've seen him on Instagram. Yeah.
Achievement Awards.
Achievement Awards. That's right.
That's great.
That's right. Oh, yeah. The Adobe Achievement Awards. That's right. Yep.
Yes,
I juried those.
So
that was pretty great. There's, I believe I did. Yeah. There was quite a bit of amazing entries this year for Adobe Achievement Awards. I was really impressed with everyone. You know, it's not always the case when you see that many good entries. Usually you see a few and you're like, wow, this has been a great year. But to see that many, it was a very stiff competition this year. So good for you.
Very good.
Yeah. So I'm going to eyedrop this color. Oh, is it that red? Funny. I didn't want it to be that red. Maybe more orange. That's what was missing. Like a red-orange. That's nice. Yeah. The color was off to me.
It's always complicated to pick a color.
It really is. It's so complicated.
Especially you have to think about how it's gonna feel printed on paper. And plus now with the Amazon cover, it's
exactly.
Is she supposed to make like a real printed book? Or
she's gonna make a real printed book, but it will start as it will be online as well, mainly being sold online. So I think, you know, most of the sales will happen from Amazon. However, there will be printed books. I quite like this. It's very simple and elegant. I wonder if this is even the color that I use. It's too simple.
Yeah, that's not as legible as
No,
contrast.
exactly.
It's complicated. Maybe if
I think
your
it's
black
good.
was more reddish,
Yeah.
you could get that.
Yeah,
And
I
it
wonder.
sounds
I think
pretty.
I think that's nice to bring in a deeper red.
So Johan is abandoning us.
You're abandoning
Bye-bye.
us? Goodbye. Thank you so much for joining.
And
Come back.
Keep on loving your job and your life.
Yes, love your job, love your life. Work freely.
But don't work for free.
Don't work for free. That's right. Work freely, but not for free. Perfect. That's good saying. Yeah, right?
Work for free, but don't work for cheap.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. And if you work for free, make sure that it's exactly what you want to do. I think I'm going to add it more in the box because it's starting to peek out. Just starting to work freely. Okay, cool.
Good.
All right, that one is over here. I did that.
So 8, 5, 3.
2, 1, da. Okay, let's do another one.
Okay.
Oh, there's something fun about. Oh, they did say they wanted number 1. So let's see. I don't know. That one feels so wild to me, but we should try it.
You should never let yourself stopped by anything.
I know, right? Let's see. So I wonder if I make little half circles, I'll be able to make my own wiggle. So let's make my own wiggle. And I think what I'm going to do is do it a little bit different than the way that I drew it, just because the way that I drew it is so basic and it feels more like a road, and I kind of want it to feel more balanced and a little bit, you know, not so normal. So something more graphic and black and white.
Nice.
What is that? 2, 4, 6. I think we do something unbalanced. We'll do 5. Just to say, like, this is balance. All right. So, yeah. What do we want to do with this one? Acumen? No. Bring in work freely.
So Kevin is hoping to start a new job as a communication designer in an agency next week.
Oh, really?
But he's still unsure, and that's the reason he's on the live stream.
Oh, cool. Yeah. He's unsure. Yeah. Okay, I see. You're like, look, I'm unsure. You're like, maybe I'll just do something else full time. I don't know. Well, Kevin, tell us more. Is it, are you excited, or is it more of like a, because if you're not 100% excited, then, you know, you kind of got to make yourself excited. I feel like we have to have some juxtaposition here, where one of these is moving out. I think it would be this one. And I would align that with the F. Okay.
I hope one day Illustrator gives you the precise alignment and
type. I know, right? So they understand that that's actually where the F is. Yeah, me too. Okay. I think that would be brilliant. Let's put it out there to the Adobe gods. We'll be like, Adobe gods, please make the alignment better. Please, please.
You know, there are no Adobe gods. There's only user voice.
I know. It is a pain.
I've been advocating for user voice forever.
Yeah we should do that.
People always wonder how do we get this function we really need inside Illustrator? Then you go there. So people follow me here. I'm half screen while you're working. Yeah. Okay. So this page, this very special page, is named illustrator.uservoice.com. So illustrator.uservoice.com is exactly the place where you can give your feedback. So if anything works not so well for you in Illustrator, don't hesitate to ask, because that's the place where they're gonna fix it. You can say if there are bugs in your version, happens,
I love
or
that.
if you get feature requests, because most of the time people are like, can I do this thing and that thing without a script, without a special plugin? Yes, you can, or maybe not yet. And, so there are always workarounds, and what's good is that you can see that things need more info, are added to the backlog, which means they're going to work on that. And sometimes they just ask you, can you contact us? If something is wrong, we can help you. That's very new for the teams to work like that. new. It's been a couple of years, and we've seen a lot of feature requests from users being solved.
That's good.
Yeah, that's very good. The teams are really concerned about that.
That's really good. I like the way that this is going. The love your job, love your life. I wonder if it's too much. I think if I put them up there, it would be too much. In fact, maybe I keep them at the bottom, and it's actually that stays there. Love your job starts at the top. Love your job, love your life.
It really has this 70s feeling.
I know, it's kind of fun.
I need some Formica. Did you get Formica in the US?
Formica?
Yeah.
No, I think this is just Unica. Or this is Unica, Newhouse Unica. I mean, I'm assuming that we got Formica in the US, but I did not yet.
So Kevin is answering. Team need to talk internally. I can't hire myself, right? Yeah.
Got it.
Just 23 French people are watching. We need to educate French people about Kristine. A masterclass from an awesome designer. Yes, we need to educate. It's complicated. It's lunchtime here.
It is, yeah.
So everybody's out having lunch.
Everybody's having lunch. Well, the thing is with these, you watch them later. I think that's
exactly what happens.
That's usually what happens, yes. At least in the States. Okay, I think I'm going to feel pretty good about this.
Good.
And I am going to say that this one has been slightly done.
Done. Okay.
Got some different ideas here. I think maybe we look at something photographic, and I'm going to do that with this one, strangely. I think that it will be interesting to do photographic with some shapes. Because I want to show balance in the way that rocks stack. Balance-wise, but I want to show it in a way that feels good. It's just slightly different. Okay, I'm going to bring these over.
8, 5.
Oh, my power is low.
Plug yourself.
Thank you. Aha. Look at that.
Should be okay.
Perfect. Power it is. Power on. Thank you. I'm back with power. I think this one we maybe do the names pretty large. So this could be a little bit more about the authors.
Oh, that's interesting too, because you just used them like there's this
more of a sign off. Yeah. So I think with this one I'm going to create the shapes with this one, but then I'm going to fill in some of the shapes with, because I'm thinking about it being like a balancing rock, like how rocks are balanced. And when you stack the rocks, it becomes something that you're building. So it's all about building something that you can stand from and be sturdy from, versus just allowing someone else to do it for you. So you have to stack them yourself.
Kevin is asking, how do you develop new visual ideas within a brief and a given deadline?
How? Very quickly.
Yeah, but how? Not how fast, because we've seen you work fast on that one.
Oh, yeah.
Because you get all your IDs roughed in place just a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah.
And now we already built 4 images. The first one is coming.
For visual identity, it's strategy. I would say like the best designs are rooted in strategy. So if you do your own strategy, or if you work with a strategist, either way, visual strategy is just as important as brand strategy. So I would say that you want to make sure that your designs are rooted with purpose. And when I was putting these sketches together, they all have a similar purpose and theme, which is to show balance and to show creativity and to break out of constructs. So something that's a little bit unexpected yet familiar. So knowing that that's my strategy, and knowing that I started with a brief that I created with my client, then I know that I'm going down a path that will always make sense versus just designing. Like I could just design and that would be fine, but it wouldn't have meaning. Like when I think of the designs that I'm doing right now, like they all have specific meaning. Like this is about balance in this way. This is about opening up and receiving, like being able to like feel that you can work in and outside of a box. This is about taking a different road. This is about breaking free from things that are holding you back. So even though they're graphically simple or graphically, you know, even like modern, they have purpose behind them, and they're all very differently relaying the same sentiment, which is to work freely.
So at the end of the process, you're gonna show that to her.
Yeah.
And she's gonna have to pick one.
Yeah.
Or can she make like a?
She'll probably have revisions because she's the creative person herself. So she'll probably give me thoughts on things that she does and doesn't like. These I kind of want to make a little bit more like structured, not so soft. So they feel more like paper cut.
People taking screenshots of your YouTube video can get like a alternate cover for the next book.
Yeah, right? Totally. Oop. Actually, I'll just make this bigger. Yeah, so I'm gonna see. I kind of want to make these feel more like I cut them out with paper, just for fun. And then I have some textures that I'm going to bring in from Photoshop that I can show you all. It could be nice. Now these feel more like rocks. Hard rocks, not soft ones.
Yeah, not piling rocks from Aztecs.
Yeah.
Creative blocks. Are creative blocks a myth?
No. I think that they're not a myth, and I think what a creative block is when you don't have a strategy. That's literally what a creative block is. You forgot to do your homework. So I don't think that they're real. I think it's just laziness.
I think so.
Yeah, I think that you can lose inspiration, but I think to be blocked, it means that you have no path. So pretty much you need to move the obstacles out of your way. And I think that's literally what a creative block is. If you're feeling like there's a blockage, that means that there's something else in your mind that you have to foresee or you have to get out of the way. So sometimes what I say when I say I get all my designs out, that's my block. So by getting some of these designs out of my system, I'm going to get to something that's good. So you have to do some bad things in order to get to some good things. And I think that sometimes people expect to just do great things right from the start, and that's just not a reality for, I think, anyone.
That's not what's happening. Yeah, that's true. You have to think ahead, and you have to make this reflection, because the brief you showed us on Illustrator was not made yesterday.
No.
Yes. And you already had time to think about those ideas, because all the meaning you gave to the different pages definitely comes from somewhere. So
yeah, that's true.
And that's the hard work.
That's experience. I think that just comes with time. The more you realize how your process is, and the more you realize what you're comfortable with and how you work personally, there's no right or wrong way. I think it's finding your own personal way to work. And then through that you can I have my own toolkit, see? So I make my own toolkit. I have Kyle's brushes in here, but I also have all these scans that I've done. I'm going to bring one of these in. So, like you have your own way to work, and by doing this, you know how you work best. Oh, actually, first I got to make color. Can't do it with black. Let's see, I'm thinking paper cut. I kind of like this strange palette. It feels earthy but different. I hope that answered your question, Kevin.
I think so. You found the definition interesting.
Good.
Looks like a yes.
Yeah.
Interesting. What?
Okay, so now let's bring in some texture. Oop. No. Yeah, that's not right. One of the things I also want Illustrator to do is to be able to do this like Photoshop does.
Photoshop does it now.
Yeah, I know. They just started doing it, and it's so great. I'm obsessed. Because I just pretty much toggle through these until I see what I want to see. And then I'm like, oh, that's it. So far,
I don't remember having a shortcut for that.
So far, none of... Whoa, definitely not that. It's cool, but too much. Too much? Yeah.
So sometimes my move on Illustrator on that is to really make a mask out of my
Oh, that's what I'm going to do too. Yeah. I love that. I'm going to try another scan though, because this one feels wrong. Yeah, number 11. 11's always good. That feels a little bit less intense and more like paper. Okay.
Yeah, sometimes I wish Illustrator had really basic camera raw tools inside.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so some of these, just get them just so. I'm going to copy this over here this time.
You're learning with the process.
Yeah, exactly. I also like it because it makes the colors a little bit more diffused, so they're not so intense. Otherwise, they're very, very multiplied and intense. They're like just too vibrant. Although I want to keep this one pretty vibrant. So maybe I start with the bottom. That works.
Yeah, that's very funny the way you're doing that. Because you managed to give them volume.
Yeah.
So
they feel like they're, yeah, it's 3D without being three-dimensional. So they feel like they're, actually that should be in front. I want this one to feel like it's teetering a little bit more. So they're just touching.
There's a plugin for that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
There's a plugin for that?
Yeah, that's crazy. There's the guys they're from the UK. The name is Astute.
Oh, yeah?
Astute Graphics, and they make crazy things with Illustrator. Everything you need, like a path completion.
Yeah.
And they have that. Or maybe when you want to place rocks somewhere, they're gonna give you the exact tangent at the place.
Oh no, wait, it's where it would normally balance.
Yeah.
I feel like this could balance. This would actually work. I like this quite a bit. So this is my favorite. I don't think that this is the right font, but we shall see. This feels Cotorus. I don't know. I'm not a big fan right now. Let's see. Orpheus is nice. I feel like, yeah.
In that kind of process, when you know exactly that your client is going to have something to say about it, at one moment, do you feel like, okay, so far it's complete, and then we're going to have to come back to it afterwards? Is there one moment where you feel that way on any cover,
where it's complete and I don't want to come back?
And not you don't want to come back, but you're okay to present that and to then go maybe a step further after the client's comment.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that always happens where they, they'll always have a comment. Very rarely does a client just say, perfect. I think when that's the case, they kind of are checked out and they don't really care. I want them to be involved. I want them to feel like they have a piece and a part of the element, because I don't really find that I would ever be able to do design that's so perfect that they're like, it's perfect. I'd feel bad, actually. I'd feel like I didn't do my job. And mainly because I'm not designing for me. If I'm designing for me, then fine, it's perfect. But if I'm designing for someone else, which I am, then I want them to know, like, to be able to say, like, what they feel, and for me to be able to capture that. That's the challenge. to be able to say, oh, okay, like this is what you're really looking for. And I was able to create that. And, you know, by doing that, it helps me become a better designer because I can anticipate what, I can try to, at least, maybe not all the time, but try to anticipate what it is that they're looking for. That's too bold. What it is that they're looking for by getting to know them better first. And by doing that, I don't think that this is right. No. By doing that, it just makes me stronger at what I do.
So Kevin asks, for the process, what are the 3 top questions you would ask every client on every design project? 3 questions.
3 questions. What inspires them? Mainly because I want to know, like, personally, not about this work, but like what inspires them as a person. And what they're excited, what makes them excited. Just because by knowing what makes them personally excited, that helps me understand them better as a person, and then I'll know maybe what they would enjoy. Like if they said music, if they said like, you know, I really like going to concerts, I too like going to concerts, then I'd be like, okay, then this cover's probably going to be okay for you, but like something more in this area because it's bold and it has you know, musical play to it. But if they said they like, you know, fashion, or if they like history, then I would think about that. And it's not just about the things they like. I think about, you know, what makes that person say that, and try to, you know, size them up by looking at them and understanding what it is they like and how that will translate to design. Another question would be, what keeps them up at night? As in, like, what do they fear will go wrong, or what do they want to see happen in order to succeed? So I find myself often asking that. I think this one is done-ish. I like that the names are big because it is about them as authors. And then I would say the last question is, you know, what's your budget?
It has to happen at one
Yeah, I'd be like, so what's your budget? I was like, now that we know each other, do you have any money for this project? Or was this just a waste of my time and we had a lot of fun talking about you?
Oh, that was great. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. So it's kind of fun to know that these were the original colors. They still are, but this is what they turned out like.
Yeah.
This pink doesn't look pink at all, which I really like, that it's more of this earthy tone. I feel like this one could be a little bit, maybe more blush, like this. Hold on. I'm going to see if I... Oh, too much. Feels too earthy. Maybe it goes lighter. I kind of like what I had.
Yeah, that's complicated because you had started to have a balance on that.
Yeah. Exactly. You have to try it out though. You know, sometimes you have to destroy things in order to know if they're working. I was like, no, you're right. That's working.
That was good.
That's not so bad.
Stop it. Stop.
Yeah,
stop
exactly.
Okay.
So yeah, how are we with time?
It's 1:35.
All right.
Which is our time should be okay.
Okay.
And it's up to you.
Should we do one more, or should we call it here? Up to you.
Really up to you.
Up to you guys. Should we do one more book cover, or should we say, let's go home?
It's not yet home for everyone. Some
That's
of them
right.
are still working. So we had number 8, number 5, number 3, number 1, number 6 that are done.
1, 3, 5, 6, 8. That's right. I think I might go with 4 because somebody wanted to either that or 7, and maybe I'll do both. I don't know, because like 7 seems to be simple and it's kind of riffing on this idea over here, but there's something that I really like about it.
Yeah, that's what we get so far.
Yeah, this one too I think needs some texture to it, so I'm gonna bring in a scan. Yeah,
let the second pass.
This one.
Second pass, and first time you work like minimal, nothing on it, and then second pass you add, you dirty it.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see with this one. I'm gonna just play a little bit. Yeah. So this one I wanted it to be lighter, not so intense. So There we go.
No, that's completely different. This one.
I know, right? It's funny how that works. Oh. Okay. Something that was bugging me about this. Yeah.
That's the reason you mentioned Memphis.
Yeah. I love Memphis design. Yeah, it's my favorite. Like, absolutely love it. It's definitely something that I find myself doing often, but not necessarily on purpose. Let's see. I'm going to try this with a different scan really quick. But let's see. This one too. Yeah, I might just go through and refine some of these before I create something new. I think we could use some refinement.
So Anis managed to get back home before we finish.
Yeah?
So he says, I'm home.
He's back?
I'm home, you can go for more.
Oh, okay, good. Good. Well, as long as you're back, I will.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Now that we've got our #1 fan out there, I'm doing it.
So we have Yves that says, we're in France and I only watch French lessons.
Oh yeah?
Bonjour Yves, bonjour à tous les francophones qui nous rejoignent un petit peu plus tard dans le chat. Ouais, d'habitude on a sur la chaîne YouTube Adobe France énormément de sessions en français. Et là, comme on démarre hier on a démarré Type Paris. Enfin, Jean-François Porchez a démarré Type Paris et on va recevoir pas mal de designers sur l'identité visuelle, le graphic design, la typographie, le lettering. On va les recevoir et ce sont des anglophones. Donc pour ces fois-ci, ce sera des sessions en français, en anglais. Je pense que souvent les visuels parlent parfois plus que les mots. Donc j'espère que vous arriverez à en tirer parti quand même. Merci à tous. And I'm switching back to English.
Too light. Okay, so I tried a couple other ones and they didn't work. So
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, you're like, yep, they didn't work. Yeah. You're like, you're right.
Yeah. No, not.
No, I think this was right, but I do like the color. So I think the one thing that I would do with this one is take out the pink. Or let's see. That's what it is. I will.
So Kevin has a question. How do you made the scan textures?
Yes.
You just
I've already
them. You just
just scan, just regular scan. So it's easy to make, fun to do. You can pretty much do anything and put it in an overlay. It's kind of nice. I like this blue and orange with the pink. This is much better. This feels right. I kind of like that in orange. It's a little hard to read, which I like. It makes it it's a little distressing. It's vibrating. I know. I kind of like that though. There's something cool about it.
If you go for
let's see. Maybe this would be.
Yeah. This one is still legible.
Yeah.
If you go for cyan, then everybody's dead.
Yeah. Exactly. I like this. Okay. I'm gonna keep that. Super simple. Okay. So maybe we do one more. This one I was gonna do with photography. So we can see this. I'm gonna pull in an image. I picked some images. I went on to Unsplash and let's see, there's one in here that I liked. This one. Ooh. Yeah. It kind of feels like this woman going forward with her life, but it's like also really saturated and nice, and it's a different type of color. So I thought this would cut very nicely with a white background.
And it allows you to give him that visual cover impression that she sort of requested in the brief.
Totally. So I'm going to create a pattern over this and see how I feel about it. Let's see, first I want to put in the words.
Yeah, the good thing is that the process is already started a lot, so you now have everything cut when you want it.
Exactly. Let's do thin. Let's see what it looks like. No. Let's see what else there is. I put a bunch of things in here earlier that I was like, maybe this. Freely work. Work freely. Let's do it. Swiss is always fun, but that's not for this. Sharp slab? No. Let's stick with brother. It's nice for right now. Brother bold. All right. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. Instead of making it so... that's what I'm going to do. Okay. So instead of making it really wild, I'm going to keep it pretty simple, and I'm going to create more of a like a newspaper look to it. That way I can make something that has a little bit more structure instead of super wild.
So you don't have the same proposition as the one before.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this one's more about a controlled layout. But it'll have some movement to it, where as soon as we start work, it will have a area to get to the next thing, almost like a maze. So this one will feel maze-like. This has to flip.
So when you were working at Fuse, did you have like assistants, or did you do all by yourself?
I had a full team. So I directed a team of anywhere from over the 6 years, anywhere between 8 and 12 people.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. They were really fantastic designers. Because I know that I got to hire most of them. I was like, they're good people. A lot of them are still there, and they're still like making great stuff. Yeah, that was nice, but I also wasn't able to always do as much of the work as I would want to because I was the director, so I couldn't always get to do the work, which is kind of a bummer. I mean, it's good and bad. I think I learned how to manage people quite a bit, and that was what I was learning at that time of my career. And I also learned that I think it's really fun to manage, but I also truly enjoy doing the work. So therefore, that is what keeps me, it's what keeps me happy. That's what I really want to do with my time, is the work. I think, you know, you just have to know what you're looking for with your career and then follow that. Because I think a lot of times people do really want to manage, and that's not that they're bad at design or good at design, it's that they're really interested in helping people in that way. Whereas I'm more interested in meeting with the clients and doing the work and finding what makes them tick. That's exciting to me. Okay, let's see. What's nice is it kind of feels like a book in a way, because it feels like chunks of words. So it's like a little newsletter.
You try to make a code or something.
Yeah, totally.
Like the Greek version when you're
yeah,
in 6 point.
Totally. Exactly.
So we've got Hyperlit asking, et pourquoi tu travailles, why don't you work on InDesign? More flexibility with the typeface, I suppose.
Oh yeah, flexibility of type in Illustrator, 100%. And if I was doing multi-page layout, which would be like actual editorial, which this is just the cover, if I was actually doing multiple page layout, then I would work in InDesign, but I'm not. And I actually much prefer Illustrator to InDesign. It's my program of choice. So I think that there's no right or wrong way to do something. And I learned that a lot by watching other people do design in Illustrator.
Yeah, during the US series of Behance Live.
Yeah. And I think that what you learn is that everybody works so differently that you're kind of allowed to do what you want in whatever program you want. All right, so what I'm going to do is instead of masking these out all individually and making my file really big, I'm going to bring it in here and mask it out in one spot. That way I can control the photo a lot more. So I'm going to unlock this and duplicate it just so I can see it. And now I'm able to move this around, which will be better. It's kind of hard to see that it's a woman, but I kind of like the idea that it's back there.
Yeah, so you get it higher.
Yeah. I wonder too if we were to intensify it a little bit. Because I want the colors to be really high contrast so that it feels vibrant, so you do look. It was too moody before. Okay. We'll save that. I'm also going to crop this in because we don't need all that extra photo. And now that Photoshop is so advanced, it saves that with us. So when we crop it, it's not gone forever. It's actually still there when I reopen the file, which is cool. Because usually when we crop something, it would go away forever. And then you're like, oh. But now when we crop something, it's still back there. So it's cool. Oop, maybe not do that. Okay. So I can take this out. And that's pretty cool too. Go really graphic.
Yeah, it's a big decision to make.
Yeah, right? It's like, how graphic do you want to be?
How far do you want to go in graphic design?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. She's pretty risky. I think she would maybe go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point with really knowing your client.
I think that there's going to be quite a few of these that she will like, but curious to see what she does. So, not too far off. Cool.
Yeah. Straight edge.
Yeah, a little more purposeful and a little less crazy. Yeah, I quite like the way that this looks. I think there's something really freeing about it, even though it feels like it's breaking chains. It also, or like it's keeping me in, holding me in. It also feels like it's letting me go.
Nice.
Okay. So I can do
where are we?
F, which is
No, it's not.
It's not F, is it?
You can do the F and you can do the trim, but the trim you don't need right now, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, you can see the designs. Not too bad, right?
Yeah.
So this is the first one we
really
did.
well.
Yeah. Not so bad. Yeah, it's kind of fun to see where they came and how they got put together. So there's one. We have this one, which is more about the playfulness that you allow yourself to have after you've moved on from your job. This one is more conceptual. You're thinking outside of the box, and you're able to go in and out and dip in and out, but still work, but also live your life.
This one really resonates for French people because of NRF.
Oh yeah.
Which is a new revue française, nouvelle revue française.
Oh yeah.
It's very, very old book cover.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, it's so simple. It's so beautiful. And then this one is very stark. I think that all of these so far have a lot of Instagram quality to them, where they would be very Instagrammable.
Yeah. They
They would look nice in a hand or on a book or on a table. So it's a good coffee table book. I like this one because of the balance and also because we're knocking one of these out. So work is kind of pushing out and freely is below it. It's like, and now I can be free. So it's not all perfect. And that this is out of the two of these that don't have copy attached to them, this is the one that's being pushed. What I like about this one is the balance to this. So I think that there's something really easy to understand right away. It's conceptual, but it's familiar, because we all know that stacking rocks takes balance. In order to find something that you love, you also need to love your life. So therefore, having that balance is really nice to create. But the color palette is nice because it's earthy and it gives you something that is also familiar again, but in a strange context. And then the last one that we did, I will get rid of this. The last one that we did is, it feels more like a longer read to me. This feels more like a novel. So I could see this one maybe not being chosen because it feels like a novel. And even though this is a book that is long format, there's short stories in it, I think this one reads it's like it's too heavy. You know, like it's something for a drama. It's like a drama. I think it's really dramatic. Yeah, it has a more cinematic look. Yeah, right. It does. It has a very cinematic look to it. Like it could have been a screenplay. And I think sometimes with photography, your mind naturally goes there, but then also cropping photos in such a way it feels more cinematic, and that could be positively received from them, and it also could be really negatively received. So I think I might not show her that one, but now that it's live, she'll be seeing it anyway. Yeah.
Stop watching at
yeah, exactly.
At 1:25.
So going from looking at, okay, cool, modern, progressive, and a hint of badass, which I think some of these feel like these two feel badass to me because they're so minimal that they just feel like if you did that, you're really taking risks as an author. And it's not easy to say that, oh, I wrote this amazing book, I just want to put nothing but type on the front. That's risky. And it's also, you know, an uncomfortable thing, but also it could be very cool. And then if we think of cool, modern, and progressive, I do like that these are feeling a little bit more progressive in here, where, you know, this is kind of backwards yet forwards. Where this one to me is modern and progressive because it has two double meaning. It's like yin and yang, but also punching free. And then I like this one for its simplicity. I don't know if it's badass. I think the badassness might come in like the way that these rocks have their own stories to them with this feeling. And like even some of this, if we were to juxtapose some of these, that could be kind of fun. You know, just to like give it some dimension, so it's not so perfect.
You're trying to scare the printer in me.
Yeah, I know, right? I know, I love it. The printers always hate me. They're like, really? You want us to do a 7-color PMS? And I'm like, yep. I'm like, with foil. So it doesn't feel as finished with that. I think it actually works better. If anything, I would maybe make things a little bit smaller within them versus outside. So that way it's got this like, you know, feeling of shifting, but not outside of the color, so that it has some dimension to it. I like that, actually. This could work. What do you think?
I think the rock has starts to get traction here.
Yeah.
I'm asking people to vote for that.
Yeah, asking people to vote for the rock? You're like, vote for the rock.
No, vote
oh, which one do they like
prefer.
best? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can put numbers above these.
Yeah, you just drag and drop the numbers.
Exactly. So 1, 3, 5, 5. I'll just start fresh because we don't need those numbers from before.
Nobody will remember.
No one else remembers, yeah. They'll be like, why is there no 4? Okay. I'll make these a little bit smaller. I know, I'm such a perfectionist. I'm like kind of a perfectionist, but also not really. I'm like, this is good enough. Okay.
Good enough.
Good enough.
Spacing.
Yeah, right? Good enough spacing. Okay. So we've got our first one, 2, number 3. I like number 3. Number 4, number 5, and then number 6. So I'm curious what people say. They're like the rocks.
Come on, give us numbers now.
Give us numbers.
We gave you numbers. You have to.
Yeah, you guys have to vote. Oh, you know what? I can actually put these closer together too. That always helps.
You could even ask Illustrator to do that for you.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes. Illustrator, do this for me.
Yeah,
it's like I'm busy.
It's not yet implemented in theory, but you can.
Yeah, right. Illustrator, make it better. That's the thing. Make it the designs blue.
So we've got 2 and 5, 4, 4 and 3, 4 and 5, 1, 5, 6, 1 and 6, 4 and 6.
So no one likes number 1.
Number
no,
1,
someone likes number 1.
Yeah. Number 2 has a little traction.
Little traction. 4 and 5. 5 is.
Number 3 is completely forgotten.
Number 3 is forgotten?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know if I.
No, someone hyperlit likes number 3.
Yeah, but I don't know if it
4 and 3.
Before the
1,
the
4,
ordering.
5. 4 and 6. 4 and 6. Ooh. No, definitely 4. Or is it definitely not 4? Maybe number 7 would work. Good one, Kevin. Good one. Clever.
Yeah, push a little bit harder.
Yeah, right?
He's not the one doing it.
Let's see.
We've got to investigate for forensics.
Yeah. Forensics. I like this.
Thank
yeah, we'll investigate.
Usually Tim gets that.
Yeah, I like that. Oh, Evil Charisse. I love it. It's so good that he's here. I'm so happy. Well, yeah, so we have quite a bit of covers to take a look at. This is fun.
Yeah,
I'll have to report back and tell you what my client has to say.
Definitely 4 gets the most traction.
4 does get a lot of traction. It's fun. I think it's cool. It's bold. All right, so number 4 it is. Sold. I'm just going to say, okay, between these 3, I would be happy. Yeah, I'd be happy if these 3 were chosen.
Okay.
Yes.
That's nice. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, thank you so much for having me. This is wonderful. I feel so honored to be in Adobe France.
Oh, come on. You've already been there.
I know, but I feel honored. It's like a second year in a row. This is pretty cool.
The same stream
yeah, I know. It's not the same. This is cool. It's different. Plus, we get to be chums and like hang out. This is fun.
That's cool. And people are really reactive in the chat. We had a lot.
Good.
A lot of, yeah.
Good. I like it. Yeah.
No,
fun.
Kevin, you cannot answer with emoji. It's not working.
So funny. Yeah, no emoji.
Okay, let's go back to both of us.
Both of us, here we are.
So, thank you very much. Thank you for following us. Sorry for the French people. Désolé pour les Français qui ne parlaient pas anglais et qui n'ont pas eu le temps d'apprendre. Voilà, on y travaille. Prochaine fois, on aura des sessions en français, promis, comme d'hab. Ceci dit, jeudi, la prochaine session, ce sera avec Dan Reynolds et ce sera aussi en anglais. La session suivante avec Jérémy Paillotin sur le concept art et concept design, ce sera vendredi après-midi aussi. Donc on a pas mal de sessions l'après-midi ces jours-ci, donc profitez. Un peu d'anglais, un petit peu de français, ça vous fera réviser et surtout toujours des très belles choses à voir. Thank you very much, Kristine.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
Crossing the ocean for us.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Anytime. I'll be back. It'll be fun.
So, see you everyone. Bye bye.
Bye. Au revoir.